Okay, hello. Good morning. I have a guild meeting in 30 minutes, or in 45 minutes. Until then, I guess farm Strath. I don't fucking know. Missing the retail panel.
That's amazing.
What the fuck? Christopher Yee? Oh my god, you're not... Did you die? Usually when he goes offline, it's because he died. He's offline. Checking the level. What am I listening to? Where's the K's? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. 38. So, I want to discuss... Oh, hey, Novak. Oh, shit, I got you, dog. I want to talk with the guild, and I want to get a feel of what pace they want when it comes to... Where's the miner speed? There it is. What speed do people want? Not dead. Have a good stream. Good night, buddy. I assume you're going to bed. Should stick to the set levels you said before. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. I just want people to understand what's going to happen. So on the 30th, fuck, they're actually doing a retail panel right now. Are they actually? Well, let me look at this.
War-bound items.
Oh, okay, let me look at this shit. I'll watch this and then I'll talk about it.
An item that you can't sell in the auction house or trade, but that you can give to any of your other characters for their use.
God dang it. 5k stamina. It's so weird going back to retail and seeing numbers like that, right?
Drop as bonus personal loot from doing a variety of content. They would drop at a slightly lower item level than what that content would normally give you. Again, we want to make sure the right way to play is not, playing on multiple characters to funnel loot to your main to gear up your main faster, but just easy potential hand-me-downs, ways of getting an alt caught up, maybe even an excuse to level an alt if you get a really cool item for a class that you haven't had a chance to get up yet. So just an extra layer here, hopefully, making it easier than ever to progress, to accomplish your goals on multiple characters. All right, now quick rundown of some of the other integrations we have planned. Transmog. Transmog has always been, it's been for a long time an account-wide collection. Key thing here now that really it is being acquired by your Warband, that means that now if you were running, say, Ulduar on your mage and a pair of plate shoulders drop, you can still add those plate shoulders to your Warband collection.
Okay.
Yeah, self-explanatory. And then, if you log on your warrior later, your warrior can equip them, you're good to go. Hopefully you don't need to feel like you need to refarm the same stuff on as many different armor types anymore.
Oh, his fucking shirt.
Reputations,
What
again,
sword?
Fairly straightforward. In War Within, reputations and renowns will work account-wide. We want to make this as retroactive as possible. That will take
For the King too?
over time.
No.
We're probably going to start with Dragonflight renowns as a focus
Maybe.
and priority.
No.
And work our way backwards. But going forward, we want progress earned on reputations to not really matter which character you're doing it on at the end of the day.
I was going to do For the King yesterday,
It's the same
but then the
experience.
panel was so
You gain
big and
access
hype,
to
and I was
some
like,
perk
wow,
or some
brain.
recipe,
And today I think
having
Vicky
to
has
learn
some
it, not
D&D
terribly
tonight, and I'm not going to play without her. So, tomorrow maybe.
Here's a really light example, simple one, just flight paths. As you explore the world, you learn flight paths, you discover flight paths. Is it terribly compelling
We'll see.
to have
I'm
to
okay with playing
go
For
back
the
to a
King
spot
during my
you've
WoW
already been
phase.
to in multiple characters just to learn a flight
Just
path
has
for
to be the right
first
time.
No. If you have a flight path network unlocked, you have that unlocked across your warband going forward. And here's an example of something new, just delves. An example of how having this as a foundation means that we can build new systems to inherently work at an account-wide level, just kind of as part of their DNA. As you are advancing Bran as a companion, as you are empowering him, as you're customizing him,
feel like I already missed the
logging onto a
majority of
different
it.
character and going back to having a weaker brand that doesn't offer the tools that you've grown accustomed to, that's more frustrating than fun to re-earn those things. Let's make that progression inherently Warband level, inherently account-wide.
Yeah, everything's becoming
And
account-wide, I get it.
We've had account-wide achievements for a long time. You know, no secret, they have the little blue bar over them, indicating that they function at an account-wide level. What Warbands allows us to do is kind of invert that paradigm and change the vast majority of our achievements to be account-wide, to have that actually be the new default. So if you do part of this PvP or crafting or other achievement on one character, part of it on another, your Warband can earn the achievement. Once your Warband earns it, you've earned it. Again, you, the player, are doing the thing.
Okay. Thing is, like, the next expansion is going to be so new to me. Because I did not play Dragonflight at all. Oh, that's cool. It's kind of fun, right?
To kind of signal this shift up front, there's no like mechanical functionality here, but just in terms of presentation, what you'll see when you log into World of Warcraft with multiple characters is a selection of your favorite characters huddled around a campfire or another setting. You'll still have your full list accessible, but we want to make it clear that like you, the player, have this cast of characters that if you want to dress them all up in consistent transmogs, go wild. One thing you might note here, if you're very eagle-eyed, also by the way, if you're very eagle-eyed, don't read too much into things like the evoker wearing leather. That's just, it's internal mock-ups. We're not changing anything crazy there.
Oh, God.
Sorry. But you will note that the evoker is level 13. That's going to be a thing that's possible because they'll start at level 10. But because Dragonflight's going to be the new leveling expansion, by the way, going forward. One thing you might notice is there isn't really much here about realm selection. Warbands are a realm-agnostic, faction-agnostic feature. You will just see all your characters here. If they're on different servers, we'll make it clear that they're on different servers.
I actually don't even know what the dragon class does. Invoker or whatever. I have no idea how they work. Evoker, whatever. I know it's a healer or a caster, but like, doesn't mean I know how they work.
So,
and support.
At the core, this is a chance for us, as we continue to evolve and advance our class system, to explore some deeper class fantasies, to look at iconic archetypes.
Okay, they say this
like
every
the
expansion.
Dark Ranger, the Mountain King, or others, often inspired by major heroes in the Warcraft universe, other times by fantasies that we've heard are really resonant with players, and focus the continued expansion of our classes in that space.
Is it ever true? I mean, they always try,
Morgan
but...
said this yesterday, just to restate, this is a completely flexible system. It's as flexible as your current talents and specs. Nothing like covenants or anything like that. Anytime you could change your talents today, you can change your hero spec, you can swap around your hero talents. They're just talents. Now, some of our goals here, of course, we want to offer progression, but we want to do so, frankly, while managing complexity to a certain extent. When we started planning for War Within, we knew, all right, we're going to raise the level cap by 10. 10 new levels means 10 new talent points. The kind of default option for us would have been to take the existing class and spec trees and just add a couple more rows to each of them, add new points to spend. But we've been down that path before. We know exactly where that leads 15 years ago. There's a tremendous amount, there's an insane amount of like multiplicative combinatorial.
You don't play retail? Why do you care about that? I'm going to play the next retail expansion probably.
And it also destroys some carefully constructed choices that are really successful that we've just built up in Dragonflight today, where you can't quite have all of these things and need to pick one or the other. Suddenly, when you can get all of them, it can lead towards homogeneity as well. So this approach allows us to both explore deeper class fantasy while focusing the decision space in a way that offers power without that excessive complexity. So the way it's generally going to look is a third talent tree. Again, as mentioned yesterday, at the center of your screen, you have class, you have talent, and in the middle, you have hero talents. You'll note, so there are 10 nodes. There's an initial node that you get as a starter node at the top that you'll get initially when you unlock the system at 71. And then 10 more.
Like, this is all new to me. I haven't seen any of this stuff.
On the way to
even
80.
though it's like last
At level
expansion.
80, you will have this fully unlocked, similar to Legion artifacts, let's say. So you don't have to agonize over where you're placing any choice along the way. Now, the choices that you will make are which hero spec do you want active, and also there will be choice nodes within the trees, just as the class trees and the talent and the spec trees currently have, which you can toggle. adding quite a few permutations to the system as a whole. If you want, as a kind of simpler collapsed view, once you've hit max level, you can just condense it down to only show the choice nodes for easy swapping back and forth to customize your spec for whatever activity you're setting out to do. Now, I want to take a little bit of time to quickly walk through a couple of trees to give a sense of the sorts of things you might find in here. Again, all of this is subject to change, all subject to iteration, and the extensive feedback we know we're going to get. I'm going to use druids a lot as an example here. Going to focus on the case of a balanced druid.
I like that.
Part of why the team starts with druids is because y'all are complicated. We figure there's 4 specs, 3 roles. We figure let's try some of the hardest cases first when proving out a design. It's nothing against the mages, warlocks, paladins, etc. But there's a reason why you probably tend to see more druid examples than other classes, because we figure if we can make it work for druids, the rest will be okay.
It's not
the
wrong.
2 options
It's so
available to a
true.
balanced druid are this Keeper of the Grove tree.
High maintenance class.
Keeper of the Grove is available to balance and restoration. Balloon's Chosen is available to balance and guardian. The former focuses on calling the forest to your aid on summoned treants and augmenting their abilities and what using that cooldown means for your gameplay. Balloon's Chosen focuses on augmenting your lunar abilities, many of the arcane damage, moon-themed abilities for both specs. So let's look at the Keeper of the Grove tree first.
Okay.
The first node that you're going to get as you just opt in is just kind of a baseline improvement to your throughput while treants are out across the board. This just kind of emphasizes thematically what this tree is about and makes pushing that button, having the treants out, more important to you in every regard. Some of the nodes in these trees are just going to be simple, straightforward passives. Not everything is going to double and triple down on the same treant ability. Some will, like this, regardless of what spec you are, make your treants add additional damage.
Oh.
By the way, if anyone's worried, wait a minute, but what about the auto taunt? That's a mess in dungeons. We'll let you opt out of that. Don't worry. Or, passives could just augment your abilities, your resource pool, and just make you a better druid. An example of choice node, again,
here we go.
can be about doubling down on and getting more out of.
So I'm trying to dodge these mechanics. Hang on.
And maybe you really don't want all of your eggs in that basket. Even though you are going into this tree, you want the treants to be important to you. You don't want 100% of your throughput to be focused in that window. You'd rather just have some baseline improvements to all of your abilities, or to some of your core abilities.
What's that center
This is one
one?
of the simpler choices available, but the idea is 4 different opportunities to nudge your gameplay in one direction or another within.
Can you not go diagonal? Like if you do you have to go left side?
Likely to double down on and
fucking
amplify what the initial point was, just reinforcing that having the treants out is going to be a peak, a spike.
You unlock
in your
all
potential. Something
okay,
that
so you can go like Bing,
amplify the overall
Bong,
benefits that you're
Bing.
achieving
Oh
from
fuck!
that.
You can do that diagonal shit. All right, those
Pivoting
lines were
to
confusing
Balloon's
me.
Chosen. Again, this is lunar themed and shared with Guardian Druids.
No,
So the first
they are
point
lines.
here is going to call out 3 specific signature abilities.
You just get them
2
all.
balance, 1 guardian,
all right.
and make them meaningfully more impactful to your gameplay. If you're a Guardian Druid, for example, you might read this and realize that like Lunar Beam is going to become a pretty powerful defensive cooldown, especially in dungeons. You have a big pull going on.
You get them all, but some of them are 2 choices. Okay. So
This
only
is now
these right
something
here are
that
the
you can really
choices.
count on
All
and
right.
plan around as you approach your gameplay. On the Moonkid side, this of course adds an extra layer to planning and throughput in your rotation. Noting a couple of these things that we're modifying, maybe deeper optional talents in your existing spec trees. We also, where we can, want to offer ways to make sure that you can trigger those effects even if you don't have the baseline talent, though you'll probably want to as well. So this talent just has Fury of Elune triggered as you're doing your regular rotation when you Moonfire, both just naturally, it's a powerful effect that's going to fire more frequently, but also to the extent that the rest of the Elune's Chosen tree is tying into it, you'll get those benefits as well. A couple of more passive examples here. Again, just doubling down on magnifying your arcane lunar throughput, and a final capstone ability for this tree that is further reinforcing these core that have already been augmented. Leave this slide up for a while. These are our current plans for all 39 of the hero specs. So one
Wild
recurrent
Stalker,
specialization. Some cool
Druid of the
fantasies here to
Claw.
explore. Definitely really curious to hear community feedback
Cat
on all
form,
these, which are exciting,
bear
which are
form,
most resonant, which
boomkin,
sound, frankly,
healer,
maybe a bit lame.
Dark
Are there any
Ranger,
that
pack.
you
Ah,
hope to
fuck!
see
Leave it on the
here that you're
screen.
not seeing on here? We are,
Oh.
well underway.
Fuck you. I'm pausing because I don't know if they're gonna give me this longer. Deathstalker, Trickster, Fatebound, Master of Harmony, Shadowpan, coming to the Celestials. Scale Commander, Ruby Adept, Rider of the Apocalypse. Oh my god. Sun Fury, Frostfire, Spellslinger, Void Reaver, or Weaver, Oracle, Archon, Soul Harvester, Hellcaller, Diabolist. Oh, Diabolist. Colossus, Slayer, Mountain Thane, Storm. Wow. All right.
We want to have as many, if not all of these hero specs playable from the start, so that we have the entire alpha and beta window to iterate on them, to
Druids
replace
get
the
4?
things that aren't working, to dial
We're
them all in,
complicated.
to where everyone's going to be excited about what they're getting.
How does it say?
Within. It's a long road ahead. We can't wait to share that journey with you and really just collaborate, discuss back and forth every step of the way. All right. Now some other stuff. Some you've heard about, some you haven't. First off, Allied Race, you get to be an Earthen. Awesome blinged out dwarves, or maybe not so blinged out if you want to customize them differently. These are going to be earned just by playing through the War Within campaign fully. There's no rep to grind here, nothing else beyond that. You are meeting the Earthen as, it's a first contact in essence. You're going to learn about the nature of their problems, the nature of their culture. You're going to work with them to overcome those problems, win their trust. And at the end of that journey, it will make sense. It will be a natural next step for them to lend you their aid and join you as either Horde or Alliance. So yes, Horde dwarves.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. But also in retail, who cares?
We haven't yet finalized what their racial abilities are going to be.
Horde and Alliance
but the
aren't.
available
It doesn't even matter.
10 out of the 13
retail.
available classes. Everything but Druid, Demon Hunter, and Evoker. Now, on the right side here, you see a concept of the Heritage Armor you'll be able to earn from leveling your Earthen to max level. All right, Dynamic Flight.
I haven't gotten to do dragon riding, but people have told me it's actually really cool.
So it was obvious very early on in Dragonflight, probably before Dragonflight even released in beta, that we could never go back to how it used to be. Honestly, we hope that would be the outcome. We hope the feedback would be, this is so awesome, we just want this to be how flying works forever. But we immediately began, making plans for what that would mean, because it's the only way to go. And so, dragon riding is going to become the default, no longer just dragons, but dynamic flight now in War Within and beyond. We want to make sure. Oh, weird. I meant to have 2 mounts here, but I only see Ashes on the right. But anyway, the key point being, we want to expand this to the broader array of mounts that you have available. I think the only downside of dragon riding, as it exists today, is that you don't have much reason to use so many of the mounts that are your favorites visually, aesthetically, that you've earned and done so much to collect. You want to make sure that as much of your collection.
Oh my god, I get it.
So not every single flying mount is going to be able to support that.
I was like, everyone's laughing, but I know.
But as many as we can. It's a 3-digit number. We want a very wide array of mounts being able to just fly the way you've always, enjoyed with your dragons.
I'm going to explain the joke, and it won't be funny, but the joke
just to
is,
clarify, this is the future
why is it
of flying.
invincible
Everywhere that you can
if you
fly
can
today,
see it?
You'll be able to dynamically fly or dragon ride.
Stupid trade chat joke.
In fact, not just in the War Within, a little sneak peek, I think in our upcoming 10.2.5 update, you'll be able to dragon ride in Eastern Kingdoms, Kalimdor, Northrend, Outland, you name it.
Oh, wow. I wonder how much you can... Who cares if you break the game in the world nowadays? Everything's instant in retail.
We also understand
so I guess
some
whatever.
Folks, for accessibility reasons, personal preference reasons, maybe you just like being able to AFK in midair, that dragon riding isn't your favorite. We don't want to take anything away. We want to let all these mounts that can currently do the old school flying mode toggle between dragon riding or let's call it TBC flying Up to you, whatever you prefer.
Cool.
And
So what
again,
is Druid?
To be clear, dynamic flight will be available from the very start when you go to Castlegar in the Isle of Dorn, just as it was in Dragonflight.
Cool. I'm probably going to have more fun
Old-school
in the War
TBC
Within than
flying,
other people.
Pathfinder style will not be available right away, but it will be unlocked shortly after reaching max level. With
All
no
the good
reputation
things
grind
that came from
requirements. Just
Dragonflight
play through the
are going to be
campaign,
put in,
explore the
and I haven't
continents, then you can
experienced them
fly
yet.
that way as well.
So,
The existing dragon riding glyph system in the Dragon Isles, we want to pivot that to a bit more of something that's evergreen. Some of those unlocked traits may change to only work within the Dragon Isles. Others that are more essential to just the experience feeling good, like vigor increases, regenerates, the active abilities, are just going to be things that you will inherently get as you earn dynamic flight and level up naturally. We don't want down the line players to feel like they have to go back to an old expansion and fly around and collect a bunch of glyphs just to be able to explore the new expansion. And in that vein, this is going to be the new default for leveling players. I mentioned earlier, when War Within comes out, instead of BFA, Dragonflight will be the new leveling experience that you merge into as a new player after you leave Exile's Reach. And so you're going to get dragon riding very early in that experience.
Cool.
As you just level up, gain player levels, you will improve your flight ability and get all the vigor perks and everything else that everyone has come to expect. And that's just going to be how the game works as a baseline. This is what flight is now.
that's actually really good. So I tried to get Viki to play WoW. It's part of the reason why I didn't play.
Don't worry,
Dragon
Big
is.
Ears, we haven't forgot you.
I couldn't get her to play, and I was going to spend my
This is
whole
long
days without
overdue.
her.
We should have been doing
We
this
leveled in the BFA
earlier.
zone, and she
So there's
quit.
a new Battleground coming
And I didn't
in
blame
War
her either.
Within.
It was
It is a
awful.
10v10 map set in the Ringing Deeps. This is inspired by Silver Shard Mines with a few twists. The Ringing Deeps are a place that's full of natural resources, that's very sort of thing that the Horn Alliance will be likely to skirmish over. I'm going to show you a very rough, early, kind of like top-down mock-up of the layout here. The idea is, unlike Silver Shard Mines, which is radial symmetry, this is more mirrored and reflects the two sides trying to both push their own minecarts to collect resources while also fighting over a pivotal central control point that's going to change the outcome and the momentum of the match. This is something that the team has actually been playtesting internally a bunch over the last couple of weeks, having a blast with. When we make Battleground maps, we don't really artify them. We keep them really rough, which is why I don't have any.
My one
good
thing with
images to show
Battlegrounds
just yet,
is
because
I
it really
don't
is all
like
about
group
the layout.
large-scale
There's no point making
PvP.
it look pretty if the spacing isn't correct.
Casters
the
are too
exact paths
strong,
aren't
and I
correct.
play a feral.
That's
It's
gonna
miserable.
be the next step. Can't wait to get this in front of everybody to start testing an alpha.
I like Arathi Basin, where I can
And
go
this isn't just a
stealth
one-off. We wanna
and
keep
take a
adding new
base
Battleground maps
all on
going
my own.
forward. This is an essential
Warsong
part of the
Gulch,
game.
where I can solo carry potential. I don't like just
I
being
mentioned
another
10v10,
body
but
next
we
to
are
a
just
fucking
about to
cart.
Take a little 8v8 solo queue RBG
like that.
experiment in 10-2 in a week or two. So depending on how that goes, you may be experiencing this one 8v8 as well.
This is
So stay
10v10?
tuned.
I guess 5v5, but yeah, I guess. We'll see.
Otherwise, we have a few ongoing interface updates that we're continuing to work on. In Dragonflight, we overhauled the HUD, the action bars, the unit frames. the
Never really
baseline
been into
UI
any
experience. We made it clear at the time
BGs that weren't
that was just the beginning.
flag
This is something we
carrying
wanna continue
or
chipping
node
away at,
capturing.
updating different pieces of the UI to be more streamlined, better reflective of the modern gameplay experience. So just a couple of examples here. So the spellbook, we are looking to modernize, update, actually make use of more than like a 1024 by 768 monitor resolution. Ideally, you're not going to have to flip through multiple pages to find some ability that's not on your action bars. Also, we're combining this
These are all
with our
such good
talent tree. If you
changes.
look
It's
at the
just so
tabs
hard
at the
for me to
bottom, you have spec,
me to
talents, and spells all in one place.
Especially
So
when
kind
I'm
of a
going from
one-stop shop
classic
for all
to
the things that your
retail.
character has
Back and
available,
forth. It's just
rather
hard.
than having two separate windows that you need to move between.
Like, I got used to the retail UI for in Legion and BFA and all that, but then Classic came out and I tried to go back. I can't go back and forth.
Of the quest log, the quest window, Think if this is harder to show off just in a single screenshot, but we are adding a bunch of filters to allow you to hide and show different objectives, to see more quests available at once, to filter your log for the things you care about most. We also have a full pass in progress on our quest iconography to make it easier to differentiate between daily and weekly quests and remove our reliance on just shades of color as much as we do.
God, retail
really,
actually,
it is a
like,
color blindness issue for
the world,
the range of quest
just that picture in the
bangs,
background looks so much better than classic.
And again, this is just a couple of examples
just
of
does.
ongoing efforts.
Not the character models. I hate character models.
Will never be done. We're just going to continue improving and updating different aspects of the UI as we go.
Like, imagine that world, but like classic world PvP.
Yes.
Fuck.
So this one basically speaks for itself. I've mentioned earlier, your Warband is a cross-realm construct. Increasingly, so many of the activities that players engage in socially span multiple realms. You have a raid group, you have a Mythic Plus group that you run with, group that you PvP with, but you can't be in the same guild together. Not any longer. That's a thing that will change when War Within comes out. Apply, recruit. Server shouldn't matter when it comes to joining a guild, when it comes to being in a guild, when it comes to accessing the perks of being in a guild.
Regardless of realm. Okay, they're just trying to remove realms,
and
basically.
People may be wondering, wait a minute, what does that mean if now guilds are cross-realm? What about Mythic raiding? If your guild is cross-realm and your guild wants to raid Mythic, you should be able to do that day one. So no more realm restrictions there.
I think that's necessary.
The Hall of Fame will still exist, just kind of as a memorial of accomplishment, but it's not going to be tied to unlocking anything anymore. That's just there day one. And really, just philosophically, this is another step towards one of our goals of just tearing down barriers, making the game as social as possible, making it as easy as possible to play with who you want to play with, regardless of your server, regardless of your faction. As much as possible, if you want to play WoW with somebody, let's make that happen. All right, so that brings us to the end of this whirlwind tour / deep dive of War Within features. I know there's still a bunch of questions, a bunch more information to share. Can't wait to do that in the coming days and weeks. But to begin, I'd like to invite everybody, if you have questions, if you're here at BlizzCon, go to the Darkmoon Fair in Hall D. You can drop off questions.
They pretty much
there.
just remove faction. Like, just go for it.
If you're going online, you can go to the WoW or WoW Classic subreddits or our official forums and either ask your questions there or upvote others. This coming week, when we get back to the office, we're going to huddle, review the top questions, and record streams for both
basically
Classic
did.
and
Yeah,
for
they
War Within,
basically did.
addressing the top questions to try to get as much
But they
information
didn't.
out there as possible. So.
That wouldn't be lore friendly. I'd argue it would be lore friendly. We've gone through too many expansions
again,
where the
thank
Horde
you
and
so much
Alliance
for
work
joining us.
together
We are so excited
to
begin this
accomplish a
journey
goal,
together with you.
and then they just
Can't wait
force
for the
them to
War
hate
Within.
each other again
Join us
because
at BlizzCon,
you got to
enjoy the rest of the
maintain that
weekend.
faction
I love
shit,
you
but
all.
it's like, no. Cool. I missed most of it, but all right. I wasn't planning on even watching that in the first place. So I've got a guild meeting in like 15 minutes, and I just want to talk and get everyone's idea of how they feel about the leveling pace and what we want to do about Season of Discovery coming out on the 30th. And just talk very transparently and openly, get people's opinion. Right now, we're set every single week. You have to get 5 levels. That's the current set. And I just set that myself just so people have an expectation that, like, hey, we still have quotas. But that wasn't discussed with other people. That was Vicky and Russell last night in Discord. So if we were to go with that, we will all be 60. So next Friday on the 10th will be 40, 17th, 45, 24th, 50th, or will be 50. The 1st of October, 55. The 8th of October, we will be 60. The 8th of October. That means it's like a week after Season of Discovery. Or December, sorry. Months. So yeah, the 8th of December will be 60. And then we have to go another week probably 2 weeks of pre-raid bis farming. So I was thinking, if we could, I'm going to ask everyone, speed it up a little bit. Let's try and be 60 by the 24th this month. Good luck. I'm gonna ask people. Deaths will happen, I know. Like, do we want to get this done? Or not? Wubby just started. How did Wubby... I didn't get to watch a lot of his stream. How was Wubby? I saw a bit, and he was having a hard time doing anything because of his viewers. And he seemed like he was being really petty, and he didn't want to, like, layer over. Which I completely get. I just want to make sure he's having a good time. He wanted to figure it out off stream? Okay. He didn't understand layering? Well, if he wants to play, I'm down to sit and, like, guide him. So he doesn't have, like, all these streamers with, like, they're just chatting viewers... It's miserable, and I rip my own hair out listening to their chat speak. And they just need, like, a firm voice to say, this is how it is. Not, well, this and that. Sometimes that. No, this is how it is. This is what it is. This is the best. This is how it's done. Like, no bullshit. No fucking bad players. No people just trolling. Like, just stop. I need to run... Fuck, I was going to run Strath, but we have our guild meeting in like 10 minutes. I saw iDubbbz on the list. Yeah, iDubbbz joined. I don't even know if he streams, but love it. Guild's getting kind of crazy. He does? Cool. That's awesome. I don't know if... Did Pokemon actually start playing? Is she, like, in? I know she was in my chat last night asking about it, but did she actually play? Or are you guys just remembering she came in my chat yesterday? She's thinking about it. Okay. I mean, it is a huge commitment. It's not like, yeah, I'm going to go play WoW for a day. Like, no, this is like, we've already been at it for 3 weeks. And we're going to be at it for at least, like, we're halfway there, not even. Not even halfway done. So... It is a big decision. And I'm not going to try and convince you. I'll tell you what it is, and you tell yourself if you want to do it. It can kind of fuck your stream over. Especially if you're not typically a WoW player and you play Valorant all day, right? Like, we got a lot of just chatting streamers having to basically stream twice as much because they still have to do their just chatting stream. Then they do their WoW stream. But now you have time for nothing else. Now you really are, like, actually on your computer all day. So do you want to do it? It's fun, but you have to do it because you want to, not because your career will benefit. Not because anything else. Will and F has been on that degen shit. Yeah, no, he's like, I saw him doing just chatting, you know, the good shit. And I've seen him playing and grinding WoW. Seer messaged me, by the way. We gotta support Seer. I mean, I feel so bad for the guy because he really sucks ass at gaming in general. And he's doing his fucking best. He messaged me. I don't think he'd mind if I read this. I feel real stupid about my mistake earlier. I understand mob tagging is an entirely different type of playstyle, but maybe it was making me lazy and I shouldn't do it anymore. I was only trying to make deadline from not playing as much as I should. Actually pissed at myself and it made it look like I learned nothing. But I'm gonna make it a point to practice and play properly and keybind everything I need to use and then use them. Mob tagging is just auto and multi-shot, so yeah, it was making me lazy and feel invincible. Please let the people know I'm going to get real good with it soon and be the hunter that I need to be. An only Fangs hunter. So, he messaged me that. Give him 5 FKP. Everyone's hoping he makes it. Like, that, he's our dark horse, man. If Seer can do it, no one has an excuse. Like, he doesn't have any WoW viewers, and even the WoW viewers that he does have can't watch him because he's so terrible. So he's destroying his career and still going hard with it. And he blows. There's no excuse. Where is he? Hang on. Give him 15, man. That's an only Fangs hunter.